So, tell me a little bit about what you've been working on. It sounds like you have some great projects in the docket.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you mean like not sheep hills, but stuff that we've been working on?
All of it. I want to hear it all.
Yeah. Um, we both, Dark Time Entertainment, we, as a production company, we all have some things that we're working on together, but separately, we're also working on a bunch of different things. And, I have a production company that I run. So that's, a lot of kind of content work I've been doing since Sheep Hills, and then some creative projects as well. And Jack's working on a screenplay right now that we're all excited about.
Yeah, and Sam, you just finished shooting Borscht, right?
Yeah, I just shot another little short film since Sheep Hills that is in post production right now. So yeah, we keep busy.
Nice. Tell me a little bit about Sheep Hills. That sounds like an incredible project, too.
Yeah, it was so Sheep Hills originated as actually a short fiction piece that I wrote a long time ago. It was the fiction piece was actually a little bit of a surrealist fiction piece and kind of different from what the end product ended up being. But it was really just kind of about my experience growing up with some beach rat kids doing bad stuff, at the beach in a small beach community. And I turned it into a script, a short script, and came across Sam, showed it to Sam, and he liked it. So we got to work. It was a cautionary tale, I guess. I think Sam and I were both kind of daredevils as kids growing up, and we're grateful to have made it through to the other side. So that's what Sheep Hills is about.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jack. I think a big reason why we both connected over the story is have you seen it, by the way?
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I want to hear all about everything that went into it.
yeah, absolutely. So I think Jack and I both have some kind of like close call experiences with firearms and parents who were maybe a little bit negligent with keeping them safe, and then just with the kind of being a boy that age, and what that means, like going from boyhood to adulthood, and being in kind of the culture that we both grew up in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. So yeah, digging in a little deeper there with at least like the kind of the culture and the masculinity of it. I wrote the script kind of with the intention that I was both characters. I was Jack and Todd, because I have, two facets to my life. One, I guess, would be considered slightly more feminine, the art, the writing, the filmmaking. It's emotional, right? But then the other half, I grew up, I played sports. I'm in sales professionally. That's a very kind of male dominated industry. And it was this, I always felt like a person that was torn between two realities, one slightly more creative, feminine, if you will, and then one that was traditionally masculine. So that's kind of where those characters were born. And I have one specific memory going back to when I was probably about 14 or so, hanging out with some, kind of wild kids in the neighborhood. They had the parents who would, buy us beer and stuff. It was the fun house, right? And the parents go out one night and we're drinking beers at the house, way too young to be drinking beers. These guys are, being teenage boys, being bad. And he goes, "Hey, my dad has a gun. Do you want to see it?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know, man. Maybe maybe shouldn't put your dad's gun." But all of the other boys were like, "Yeah, we want to see the gun. We want to see the gun." And he goes upstairs, gets his dad's double-barreled shotgun, brings it downstairs, and everyone's holding it and pointing it. And that image has always stuck with me as just like horrifying, And the fact that, I didn't want to see it, but everybody else did, so I gave in. I think that was kind of the kernel of Sheep Hills and the story we ended up telling.
Oh, wow, it's incredible. What would you say was the biggest challenge about making it?
Well, I mean, I think one big thing that stood out was COVID, obviously. Um, that was it, just making it in that time. I think we all really wanted to create this and we wanted to make something, and it was a little hard to figure out if we were going to be able to. Um, but for me as the director, I think the biggest challenge was finding actors who um, felt real and like they could exist in this world, and finding people who I felt like in their real lives had some sort of connection that they could pull from to these characters, which I think personally that's one of the things I'm most proud of about this film is the actors that we were able to find, and being able to bring those characters from the page, from Jack's initial idea and from his script into reality.
And what about you, Jack? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, so it's kind of going off of Sam's point. I mean, we had over like 1,200 submissions on for our casting, and our one of our producers, David Spanos, who, God bless him, I'm so grateful to have him. He went through all of them, and then he whittled it down to probably 200. So we did like 200 auditions, and it felt like it would never happen. It felt like we could never find somebody that was over 18 that was convincing, that I felt comfortable representing the characters that I came up with. And then finally we did come across everybody, and I feel like they were just they were fantastic. But that was definitely a challenge. The casting was really hard, and I learned one lesson: don't write kids.
Yeah, I can imagine that would make it a little more challenging.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
did a good job with the casting. I think everybody did such an incredible job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. And what's next for you guys? You said you had some other projects going on. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yeah, so I've got I wrote an initial draft of a feature called Blank over the summer, and that's a kind of a Midwestern suspense film set in muggy Minnesota in the summertime. It's basically a hitchhiking gone wrong kind of deal. Kind of, not to be this way, but got a lot of inspiration from the Coen brothers writing it. It's kind of some dark comedy in there. I actually just brought on another writer who's amazing to co-write this next draft with me, and get a little fresh perspective. So that is what I'm working on right now, and I hope to have a final draft come premiere time.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I've been working on. I'm a writer as well, so I have a couple scripts that I'm working on, and finishing up this next short, that I shot more recently in October, and yeah. So and then I'm really excited just about this premiere and to get this film out there, and I'd love to do some more director for hire stuff, and read some more scripts, see Jack's script, in its final form, and just go from there.
Oh, we're gonna have to have you both on when all these projects come to fruition and they're
Yeah,
ready to
exactly.
be ready to be released, because I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
wait to hear all about it. I can't wait to see the fan reaction, because you two are amazing, and I can't wait to see what you all do next.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much. We both appreciate that.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course. And one thing I like asking people I interview is, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Ooh, Sam, I'll let you go first.
Okay, nice. Okay, so Jack can think about it while I a fun fact about myself. Let's see. Well, I like I don't know how fun this is. I'm really into snakes and reptiles,
Okay,
and
okay.
and just like kind of animals in general. And I don't know if you noticed in Sheep Hills, but there was a little scene where there was a fish tank,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there's some fish in there, and that's something that I kind of want to keep throughout the films that I keep making, is just like incorporating some sort of like animal in a terrarium. So that's like I just really like that, and I feel like they add life to scenes, and I grew up with so many animals. So
I like that idea. It's kind of like on Psych, how they always had the pineapple, or Seinfeld always they always had the Superman thing. So I like that little hidden thing that
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
has to look at. You should do like a spot the animal kind of thing and see how many people actually find it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Jack?
Yeah, fun fact about me, I am terrified of reptiles, especially snakes, and really afraid of horses too, which is kind of a bummer because everybody loves horses, and I'm mortified of horses.
I don't
But
like them either.
no, they're scary. I was on one when I was a kid. I was all pumped up. We were up in the mountains, and we got to do a horseback ride. And of course, my horse tries to go off the cliff, and
Of course.
yeah, naturally, right? So yeah, I'm afraid of horses, and but I love dogs, and I love coyotes. I feel like every single thing I write, including early drafts of Sheep Hills, always has a coyote in it.
There was a coyote. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do the hidden coyote thing too. That'll be really fun to do.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of one of my tropes. It's always a coyote till someone says, "Why do you have a coyote? Get rid of the coyote." So
Yeah, goldfish are easier to afford than coyotes.
And since we're also a TV site, what are you guys watching these days?
ooh, I am fresh off of, not fresh, but Succession was my favorite thing in a long time. I don't watch that much TV. I love Succession, and I think that may have been the last thing I watched.
I just finished. I love Succession, one of my favorite shows too. I just finished Russian Doll, or
Okay,
watched
okay.
the whole season because I saw that they're coming out with a season 2,
Season 2, yeah.
and so I hadn't seen the first season, so I watched it. Thought that was
Okay.
pretty fun. Liked it.
That was a good one. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
so many good shows out there these days.
yeah,
There
Hard
was
to keep up though.
I know.
sorry, there was another one that I just watched. It was a documentary on HBO. I think it was called Exterminate the Brutes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Just kind of American history from an alternate lens that really doesn't get explored in the classroom, and I really enjoyed that.
Yep, I got to check that one out. And where can we follow you two on social media so we can continue to follow your incredible careers?
Great.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
let's give Dark Time Entertainment first. That's the
Dark Time
production company.
Entertainment,
That's
okay.
at dark_time_entertainment. And then my personal is Sam Gosnell, at Sam Gosnell, and that's SAMGOSTNELL.
Yep. So Dark Time Entertainment is where you can find all of our professional stuff. And then my personal is just Jack Paul, JACK, Paul, PAAL.
Wonderful. Well, it was a pleasure to have you both on, and I can't wait to have you both on again in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sammy.
Thanks for having
Thank you. Yep, we'll talk again soon. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.